Well, how's it going, everybody? It's been a little while since I last recorded anything. So, basically, where I've been is the last few weeks, basically since the second week of September, I've been hauling corn silage for another farmer. I've just been driving semi every day for the last few weeks. So, that's where I've been. There's really nothing to film. It's very repetitive. I mean, I'm only by the chopper for like a couple minutes and then I'm full and I'm just driving again. So there's really nothing and really no time to film anything. So that's why there hasn't really been any videos. I put out a couple shorts on it of kind of what I've been doing. Maybe I'll get a couple more. But anyway, as you can see, it's kind of cloudy. We got some rain. So both last Sunday, and then last night. Today is Tuesday, October 3rd. So can't really do anything today. They're not chopping, so that's why I'm home. So anyway, I thought I'd give kind of a update on our crops, where we're at with the harvest, because I mean, I'm not really ever around to see it because I've been driving a silage truck all this time. So this is our corn picker. Thought I'd talk about this real quick because I've never actually shown it in a video like this. Basically, this is what we used to harvest the sweet corn. So the way it works is we have only the 4 seed rows that we harvest, so it's a really narrow header. As you can see, the header is the same width as the machine itself. And basically, it kind of works just like a combine header. Basically, there's these rollers right down in here, and you can kind of see them up in there. And as the stalk goes in, these rollers right here, they rip the stalk down, and then the ear can't fit, so the ear is picked up by these belts and drug up into the header. And then the difference with this machine is you don't want the kernels off of the cob. You want to leave everything, even the husk around the cob, on it. So pretty much all this does is there's a fan in here and it blows out any extra leaves and trash that are just in there with the ears of corn. They get blown out this opening right here. Where I'm pointing and where it is on my camera are 2 different places. So right there, and then there's just this belt that takes it back up into the hopper. So it's a pretty simple machine. I've actually never harvested sweet corn, so I've never actually ran this thing. My time has not yet come. Eventually, I will be able to, but as of now, the only footage I have of this thing running is actually a drone video that I put out a couple years ago. So if you want to kind of have an idea of how this thing works, go check that out. All right, so now if we come step out in this cornfield, I think this is the second to last cornfield my dad has. He's done everything else. I think there's one more field over there. We'll drive past it here in a little bit as I show all of our crops. So basically, you don't harvest these rows because these were just here to pollinate these 4 rows here. So this is what we'll harvest. And basically, like I was saying before, with this corn picker here, you just want this. This is how you want to take it in, with the husk and everything still on it. There's a spider. But this is how you want it. You want it to just still be the fully intact corn cob with everything on it. And then at the plant, they will process it all. They'll take the husk off and take the kernels off the cob. So it makes it easy for us. It goes pretty quick to harvest with this thing. So all right, so this is all the same field. It's a big 20 acre, well, the whole thing's like 30 acres, but there's 10 acres of weed on the far end. So it's 20 acres, it's just short runs and a lot of them. So this is all done. This is mainly all that's left. Then we got some hay. This only had 3 cuttings off of it, and then we got it to kind of grow back a little bit. but we're not going to worry about cutting that again. It'll just be ready for a little bit closer next year. And this we just got a fourth cutting off of. So yeah, got that done. Didn't yield very good, but it is what it is. You don't really expect much with fourth. So. All right, while we're on the topic of sweet corn, this was mine. I rented this field here. It was split half of wheat and sweet corn. So this, I didn't realize it at first, but this variety that I raised was a really early maturity variety. So this actually got harvested at the very end of August. So like a month or so before we started picking the rest. So we actually ended up hiring a custom guy to come out and do it because we weren't ready with our machine. So they came out, got it picked. Didn't take them very long. It's only 5 acres. So this is 10 acres total. So yeah, I hope it does well, which in theory it should, because with this seed company, there was 2 options you could do. You could either just grow it and then they pay you what they think it's worth based on the quality of the seed and the amount you take in. However, I chose the other option, and Dad did too. He raised some over there, and we did a guarantee. So basically you are guaranteed so much an acre, and it benefits you if your crop does poorly or just kind of normal. But if it does really well, then you don't have any hope of getting anything more than the guaranteed amount per acre. So in the end, I'm happy we did the guarantee, because I mean, it's still gonna be a good amount of money. And then they paid for things too. They paid for the harvesting, and then they paid for some of the fertilizers we used as well. So worked out really good. And then over here I had my wheat. I don't know what I did, but I managed to grow the best wheat out of everybody. I don't know how, but I think this yielded about 150 bushels to the acre. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Out of all the wheat my dad combined, he said this was amazing, the yield. And if we hop across the street here, these are some of my dad's beans. As you can see, there's still a lot of green in them. He has sprayed this, defoliated them, so they should be kind of dying off here. But you can see there's a lot of leaves that have already fallen to the ground, but the big thing is these stems that are still super green. These pods, these are dried up. Because everything's so moist, it's kind of cracking, but everything's so moist that they wouldn't really crack anyways. But the beans are getting there, but the stems still have a little while to go yet. All right, so this is the, I think, only other field my dad has left of sweet corn to pick. So this one, and then we got this hay baled off last week. So this was 4th cutting, that was a 4th cutting. That one was only 3 cuttings, so again, that's why that's grown up a little more, because we did water it again, get it kind of a head start. And if we come down here, and farther down this road, we have the crop that I am most excited about. These are sugar beets. The last time I talked about these was probably when I planted them back in, like, was that May? No, not May. March, end of March, beginning of May, April. Can't forget about that month in there. So these things, they're getting close. Some of them are bigger than others. That's got a lot of, kinda maybe see the beet down up in there. If I can find one with a little less leaf on the top, like right there. There's a beet. So these are gonna be the last thing that we harvest. So probably here in 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be getting these harvested. So my dad has 20 acres here, and then my uncle has 25 down south. And then there's another farmer who's just getting into beets as well, and we're gonna harvest his, and he has 20 acres as well. So about 60 acres of beets to do. And this field's gonna take a little bit longer because it's super wide, but not very long. So all we're gonna do is turn around here. So, yeah. And I don't think I've talked about it yet, but you may wonder what we're going to use to harvest our beets, or how we're going to do that, since we've never done beets before. But basically, there's another farmer who just retired, and he sold his farm, and he's the whole reason we got into beets, because to grow sugar beets, at least in our area, you have to own shares in the sugar beet company, the plant, the processing plant, because they can't just have everybody growing as many sugar beets as they want and then expect the plant to be able to process it all. So basically, a share is an acre. So we ended up renting shares from this other farmer. He can own them for probably a year or two after this year, and then he is going to have to sell them because he can't own shares if he's not actively producing. So only he can have them a couple years after he stops producing. So basically, my dad is renting 20 shares to grow this, and then once we'll probably buy them from him when he has to sell them. And we are also buying his beet equipment. And for those who aren't familiar with sugar beets, you have two passes through the field. First, you have to top them, which knocks all the leaves off, and then you come in behind with the digger, and the digger just has to worry about digging the beets out of the ground and doesn't have to worry about any of these leaves. So bought two pieces of equipment from him for a really good price. It was a really cheap price. So I hope these machines, they're older, they're not pretty because they've sat outside all their life, but I haven't really gotten a close look at the digger because it was down in a mud hole when I went there with my dad, and kind of got a look at the topper. But here's one beet that's like completely out of the ground. Here it is in relevance to my hand. It's a big old thing. So yeah, I'm excited. Been looking forward to this all year. I can't believe the time has almost already come. So just a couple more weeks. Okay, so I came over here. This is my dad's farthest west farm, and there's another bean field of his. This one is drying up a little bit quicker. It's a little bit farther ahead than the other one. Here you can see the beans, those little red ones. That's what's in all the pods. Some of them, this is where he drove with the sprayer, so it knocked some of them out. So this one's drying up a little bit quicker. Still a lot of green. There's still some green leaves out there, and then the stems are still really green. So this still probably has, this still has a few more days before it's ready to go. Then if we come up over here and cross the road, this is some of the last of the hay that we have down right now. This is 20 acres over here, and then there's 10 acres just over there. So about 30 acres is all the hay that's left. The sad thing is it keeps getting rained on. Thankfully it's colder now, because I know earlier this year when we had hay get rained on, all that rain triggered so much regrowth that you've really had to rip these windrows out of the hay. But since it's colder now, there's really no regrowth. But this hay is super wet on the bottom. I don't know if you can see the water, but it's wet, very wet. So if we can quit with the rain, maybe we could possibly be able to rake and bale this next Saturday. If not, it'll be next week, hopefully. All right, so this is the last stop on my harvest update crop tour, I guess is what I could call this. So this here is my field. I'm renting this. This is 30 acres of beans. So it's the same variety as my dad's, but something about them, they were planted at just a couple days early, but these are way farther along than my dad's are. As you can see, they've almost dried down completely. There's really no leaves left on them. They've all kind of fallen off, and really all we're left with is just pods with beans in them. There's still a little bit of green down at the very bottom of the stem that we need to have gone just to help the combine out. But other than that, these will be definitely the first beans to go. All right, so I guess that's gonna be it for this video. So pretty much kind of how things are looking is hopefully we can get the corn and the rest of the hay all baled at some point this week, maybe in the beginning of next. And then hopefully next week we can be knocking these beans out, and then after that all that's left is beet harvest. So I doubt I'll get footage of any of these other harvests just because I'm going to be hauling silage again. But I will be back for beet harvest. I already told the guy I'm working for, before I even started, I said I was going to have to quit for beet harvest. So I'm planning on being there for that because I'm excited about it. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. I'm guessing it got kind of long, but if you made it to the end, thanks a lot. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, whenever and whatever that may be.